Hello everybody, Isabella from Prior Attire here again, and again we are in beautiful St Audrey's Winning Park in West Quantexhat. They're very kindly to let us use the rooms for the photo shoot and video, and this is actually our actual venue for a wedding where we got married some almost 13 years ago. Today we are looking at a fashion that is slightly neglected, maybe not by everybody but definitely by me, which is the 20s. And it's a transitional period from the sort of simplicity and simple columnar form of the earlier Regency styles and the extravagant late 20s and 30s where just everything is over the top. And 20s were never really on my radar much until I started working on my new book, The Regency and Romantic Dressmaker. Obviously the sort of 20s are there, and the more I sort of looked at it, the more interested I became, because it's actually quite elegant. You still have quite simple forms, but the decoration gets a little bit more interesting. So yes, really sort of, I'd say precise decoration, over the top decoration a bit as well, especially as we go on, and the waist is gradually going lower and lower and lower. I've got two gowns today, two evening gowns. I think I'll put this one on later on. This is a copy of the one from the Bath Museum. I wore it in Vienna recently, and if anyone's sort of ordering my pre-order for the book, you will recognise it on the cover. So as you can see, that's what I mean by the decoration. It's a little bit earlier 20s than the other gown I have for you today. Lots of very interesting uses of piping, double piping, knotting, trimming with bands, so that's a really interesting style. And the other gown that I have that is an attempted replica of the original 25 gown, I think 1825 gown from the Killerton National Trust Museum, which is not far away from where I live actually. It's in different colour, it's in lavender colour, because I was stash busting, that's what I had. But we're going to have a look at the undergarments first. I think I'm currently missing one garter. The undergarments stay basically the same really, not much was changing. If you look at the stays and corsetry in teens, in 20s and 30s, actually even in 40s, you will see that very little changed, although the split busk was invented towards the end of the 20s and early 30s, I think, metallic eyelets in 30s. They were not very much in use, and the sort of wooden busk was very much in use as well. So these are sort of 10 teens, 20 stays, same ones, just with fan lace you've seen before, my 30 stuff, with more cording than this one. But loads of stays at that time, didn't really do much for the waists, although that is slightly changing in the 30s time, where you sort of lace a little bit lower and more crisscross rather than spiral lacing. Chemises stayed the same. You see a little bit more short sleeved chemises, especially if you have very short evening gowns, but they are linen mostly, occasionally cotton, but I think most of them are linen. And usual stockings. And I'm wearing a slightly different garters that I recently got, that are really cute, and they are knitted garters by a maker from Austria. I'll tag you out somewhere around here. So they just lace over there. So even as the waist was coming down towards the end of the 20s, the quarter stayed the same because the waist was not accentuated that much. You had a little bit more decoration here, a little bit decoration starts getting put on the hems. But apart from that, the waist didn't need to be accentuated more than that. You still wear petticoats, and again they can be longer, shorter, simpler, decorated. They can close at the sides, they can close at the back. This one is just a little bodice petticoat that closes completely in front, so it's quite convenient for me. It fits. And it's a slightly longer line as well, so that's going to be, it's a little bit torn as well. So that's just the basic petticoat. I hope my chemise is not too visible underneath the dress. And that's your undergarments, and that's my dress, freshly finished with a lot of rouleau decoration. So that took a good 2 days of just stitching. Let's see if I can get some nice bits with really crazy sleeves, an equally crazy hem, padded hem and quilted. The description in the original gown says quilted. I think it was quilted and a little bit padded, so I've used both. Let's see how it puts on. I must admit I haven't put it on yet as completely. I put separate bodice and skirt on, but not all of it because I've just finished it last night. So let's have a look. There is a danger that I might need to change into a different chemise, but can we have helper to sort out the back? The back actually is on a drawstring. So if you start with the drawstring first at the top.
Indeed.
At the top. I sort of will gather it. Yeah, I just need to gather it here.
I can sort that out in a moment.
Okay. Alright. It needs to be tighter.
Leave it alone.
In the meantime, let's admire some beautiful bling. I'm not really a bling person. The only time I actually use stuff like that is for shoots or for wearing historical stuff. I don't even wear my normal wedding ring, which is very naughty of me, I suppose. But this lovely set that actually goes very well with the gown is from Oriello, again from Austria. So I'll thank it as well. Yes. And you just need to do something behind my back, as husbands do, I suppose. Whatever it is. Not sure you can see the hem yet, but it's very simple decoration. It's piped triangles, put sort of offset and decorated with covered buttons. So there's lots of piping going on in this dress, rouleau as well, which fortunately it was a bought one, I didn't have to make it, thank God. But you have piped small triangles at the sleeves, piped bands at the sleeves with lots of nice puffing outs. Let's puff it out a bit more.
Very slippery drawstring. The material doesn't hold a knot well.
Okay, that's the rouleau. Okay, I suppose that.
Note to self: rouleau does not hold knots.
No, I need to listen. But you can see how the padded nature of it sort of already makes the garment stand out. You see my petticoat is a little bit too long, so a last minute change. I'll just back it.
What would you like?
I'll just back it. Hold on, I'll just back it underneath and it'll be fine. See, fine. The description of the original garment states there are two belts, but there's no photos of it. I'm going to go and see the gown in person next month, so I will have more information about that. So this gown is just a, well, this belt is just a plain piped belt. It also has a separate spencer, so that's something else I would like to see if I can reproduce. I've got very nice velvet in the similar colour and still some more rouleau left, so there might be some more rouleau in my future. But that is just a really cute look, actually quite like it. The slightly lowered waist looks not too bad on me, and it has sort of wedding vibes, which is just as well because we are shooting some bridal shoots today. The pattern for that gown and the other one as well are going to be in the new book. The pre-order is out now. I think it's sold out now, to be honest, but don't worry, hopefully I should have the rest of the book sorted out for you later on. Now what I really need now is, if I had a spencer and a little chemisette, I could put my little bonnet on, which is really quite cute, and some gloves. I might put chemisette on. If not, if it's an evening version, I probably will change my boots into slippers and wear either gloves or mittens, and I have some nice, let's have a look how mittens look on it. The mittens are from the Rose Passementerie, and I think she's in Netherlands. They're quite cute actually. And you can use a phone, important. And let's have a look at this. Wow, full modern functionality, but also looking quite period if necessary. Well, let's put that hat on actually, because it's quite a cute. Hat is from Sherry Blythe from the Farthingham Historical. And it still has a price at the bottom of it. Oops. Removed. Right, let's put it on. It's quite cute actually. Slightly different shape, as you can see the brims are getting really big at the moment. And it's getting into that wacky 30s. Exaggerated skirt shape, exaggerated sleeves. Oh, so silly. That's so funny. Right, we're going to go and get a couple of nice shoots and speak to you later. Thank you for watching.